venir ici pour y faire des plongées. Un spectacle garanti, on en a tous rêvé. Caresser les dauphins et juste se rappeler des films de Mike Nichols, de Fa, de Bee. Leurs descendants sont là et bien apprivoisés. Transgressant leur nature, ils nous deviennent amis. Rechercher l'émotion, rencontrer les requins, seigneurs des récifs à la nage chantée, sont depuis 2011 complètement protégés. Il était vraiment temps de penser à demain. Rapportons plus vivant et montré aux touristes. 250 000 $ par individu, c'est plus qu'un site d'aileron, personne ne l'aurait cru. Justifiant cette action, espérant qu'elle persiste. On peut venir aussi pour y faire de l'apnée à DEADMAN'S REEF, le récif dit du Macabée. Celui-ci est frangeant de plus de 10 000 ans, soumis au vent de sud et face au Gulf Stream. Son lagon s'est ouvert aux différents courants, abritant une vie devenue richissime. Ces crêtes algales nous montrent une baisse des océans. Elle délimite son front sur plus de 400 mètres, éloigné de la plage d'une distance comparable. C'est ici qu'ont vécu les Indiens Lucayans. Pacifistes et pêcheurs, ils étaient leur seul maître. Des artefacts trouvés en témoignent dans le sable. Personne ne sait vraiment qui est ce Macabée. La zone est reconnue pour ses nombreux naufrages, beaucoup de disparus et jamais retrouvés. Du temps des pirates, de l'alcool prohibé. Des histoires courent toujours et bien souvent sans âge. DEADMAN'S REEF peut encore révéler des secrets. L'accès est indiqué au milieu de nulle part. 3,50 $ pour rester jusque tard. Commodité incluse, il y a même un vestiaire. Nous avons rencontré le propriétaire.
Yes, I'm glad to see you, and I would like to thank you to welcome us in your little Bahama paradise,
yes,
because you
more
call
than
it
welcome.
the paradise.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you for coming. We enjoy having you.
Okay, thank you. So the first question will be, how did everything start in 1994?
Well, I was away in the United States. I was being schooled, and after I finished school, I basically started working there, and I decided that I wanted to come back home. We had bought the property a long time, maybe like 10, 15 years before that, but there was nothing here. And at the time, my father was thinking about selling it. I said, no, don't sell it. I want to come back and I want to start a small business on the beach for the tourists. And that's basically how we got started. When we first started out, we just had one building, and we cooked under a sea grape tree on a 55-gallon drum, you know, with the driftwood and everything. And from there, we started growing because I wanted to give people what I missed most when I was away was the ocean and the snorkeling in the Bahamas, which I think is the real Bahamas. The people come for the beach and for the water experience. And when I brought friends home, that's what they wanted. And to me, it was the best way to give the tourists something to enjoy the real Bahamas and not a whole lot of commercialism. So that's how we got started, you know.
Débarquant de bus de bateaux de croisière, les touristes viennent pour découvrir les merveilles. Ils sont habillés, groupés, griffés, tous pareils. C'est vrai qu'ils semblent vraiment ne pas manquer d'air. Le lagon et le platier sont riches de tout. Une petite tulipe de mer nous montre le jeu. Porcelaine monnaie, étoile coussin, orphie crocodile, casque. Double de mer boutant presque à portée de main. Turbopan. Myriade de petits poissons. Baliste océanique. petites pastenagues, tortues vertes avec leurs rémora. Gros barracuda en chasse et très peu peureux. Avant d'arriver plus loin sur le bord du récif extérieur où d'autres créatures vont nous ravir les yeux, comme le baliste royal, le poisson écureuil, des papillons à 4 yeux, arbre de Noël sur un corail cerveau, papillons rayés, Acropora palmata et corail de feu. S'arrêter un moment en explorant autour avec les calamars, poisson flûte ou trompette, lipurondo, ange royal. Le pourtour satanière. Petite 42. Sergent-major, perroquet, vivano. Jaune, chirurgien bleu. Puis franchir la barrière et être de l'autre côté, pour contempler statique d'une fenêtre sous la mer. La nage d'un ange gris dans un courant léger, s'abandonner sous l'eau en perdant ses repères, sous le regard curieux d'un poisson écureuil, semblant vous faire des signes pour un meilleur accueil. Au milieu des gorgones, les labbes se courent après. Les Caraïbes sont belles, surtout en plein été. Une bouffée d'air suffit pour aller la filmer. Ses traits dans son nuage semblent bien occupés. Et celle-là qui repart à 180 degrés. Soudaine apparition de tarpons de passage, par du bruit attiré, s'approche du rivage. Joli banc de gorettes margades qui s'éclatent. Et les crabes mailloles, se sauvant en toute hâte. Mais il y a autre chose à DEADMAN'S REEF.
You are offering people to adopt a reef ball. Can you tell us more about that? When did you start this sustainable program? I think it's a really good idea.
Ball system, we started take a little bit back, probably once I started getting more people coming, I realized that it's going to be important for me to make this sustainable. I didn't want the people to come and just constantly use the reef and not me benefiting but not giving anything back. So I looked at several programs to help give back to the reef ball or to put more biomass into the water to help sustain it, because my whole thing is I want my kids to enjoy this.
And for the next generation.
For the next generation, yes. I want them to enjoy it as well. So the reef ball system I started about 3 years ago was the initial contacting the people and finding out about it. The Reef Ball is a non-profit organization. It's called Reef Ball Foundation in the United States. and their whole business model is to go around the world and help rehabilitate reefs and beaches and make areas sustainable as far as the ocean is concerned. So it's a non-profit. So a lot of research and a lot of time is going into the design of the reef ball. And this is one project that I like because not only could it help me sustain, but also help me give back, you know, to the reef. It helps stabilize the beach somewhat, and also it helps give a lot of diversity to the fish. So about 3 years ago, I contacted them. They came over and they had scientists that actually did a survey from the aerial. They took the Google Earth. They also did current measurements. They did tidal flows and all the flow and everything like that. They took a lot of historical data, and they designed the reef ball system that I have now to help sustain the natural ability of the beach. In other words, to bring it back naturally and not to create anything that wasn't there before. So it blended it in just like it was a natural part of the actual reef system. And I noticed that my beach, because I lost a lot of beach over several years, and I noticed the beach starting to come back a little bit more as well.
Do you think you have more biodiversity now with this system than before? Or
Well, I think as a whole it's pretty much the same. Over the years, I don't think my reef system has changed as far as gotten worse, but it has been changed due to the fact of some hurricanes and some storms. But Mother Nature really doesn't destroy coral reef area. What she does is just redistribute it and make it different. So as far as the fish are concerned, I think the fish are still very popular. There's still a lot of diversity in the fish out there. Matter of fact, this is one of the places that I've had several people come that are actually scientists or marine biologists and say they've been all over the world, and this is one of the few places where they've seen the diversity of fish all in one spot. I think it's due to the fact that right several miles off the shore here you got the Gulf of Mexico, or you got the Gulf Stream, and it brings a lot of fish, because any given day you can go out there, you can see tarpon, you can even see...
That's true, I saw some tarpons today.
Yeah, you see tarpons, you can see big mackerels, you can see jacks, even tuna come through. A lot of fish come through because a mile or two offshore it drops down very deep, and you have a lot of sport fish that come in here as well. And so with the reef ball system, it's doing that. I think it's helping it. It's going to create an environment that's going to help sustain, because each one of the reef balls, they get back about 500 pounds of biomass. And I have over 286 of them out there. So it's a lot of biomass being given back to the ocean. And they help with the juvenile fish. There's a lot of fish out there, diversity, and you have a lot of baby turtles, you have a lot of baby marine life that hang there until they get bigger, and then they're going to move out to the other reef. And I think it takes a lot of pressure and stress off the main reef as well, because it gives people another option to go to. And with that, I think, I'm hoping within the next several years that it's going to grow even bigger. We've had a team of scientists came in, and they did some coral transplant about 4 months ago. And so this is a studying program, because we're involved with the University of Bahamas, and we're involved with several high schools, and they come out and they do monitoring. Every 3 weeks or so, they come out and they do measurements of the coral, they do measurements of the fish population, they do measurements of the growth. And they're going to plot that chart over several years for scientific research, and it's going to go back to a Reef Ball Foundation as well to help them keep statistical data on how well the reef balls respond to certain environments and what they can do to make it better in the future, but also just to give them a general basis of how they can expect their reef balls to function over a period of time.
Yeah. So you have an agreement with this foundation in the States?
Yeah, it's more or less, it's an agreement in the sense of that what I've done with them is they came in, and that's their job. They come in and they design the reef balls and they build them, but they also want to make sure it's done properly. And so what I've done, I was able to do that, and part of the program is through me, is through the Reef Ball Foundation as well, is that you can adopt the reef ball.
It's like $200?
The $200 is an adoption of reef ball.
Yeah.
And you can go, you can get a corporate sponsorship, you can get the elite adoption program, and basically what this money does, it helps replenish some of the investment I have, but a lot of it goes to the research and development of future. Some of it goes to the Reef Ball Foundation itself, which is a non-profit organization. And again, they have over 1 million reef balls pretty much throughout the whole world. And this happens to be the largest reef ball problem, or not a reef ball statistical reef system in the Bahamas right now.
Right.
So, and in doing that, you can adopt the reef ball. You're going to get a certificate that basically tells you the coordinates of the reef ball. And with that certificate, it means that you're actually participating in giving back to the reef. You help sustaining life, you help giving life. And also with that money, it goes to schools to come out to do research. We have several schools that are involved in research projects at high school level as well as a college level.
So you have schools and children who are coming all along the year. I mean, from time to time. I mean, to see.
What's involved with the reef ball system? I have several schools. One of them have adopted a reef ball, and they're doing it as an ongoing science project.
Yeah.
So every year, that particular class would be grade 9 or Form 4. It would come out, and they would do statistical data, and they would take it back, and then throughout the year, they would end up writing reports. This is good because a lot of kids may want to get into the marine biology program, and this is a front row seat for them to observe it and get first-hand information on how it works.
Dans un moule, du béton et des petits ballons qui feront des trous une fois l'ensemble pris et formeront ces boules de silice bien remplies, aérées et rigides pour mieux tenir au fond. Le béton est marin d'un pH proche de l'eau. On y mettra du sucre pour mieux aider la vie à recouvrir ces boules et cela au plus tôt, permettant aux biotopes de croître vers l'infini. Ces boules vont résister environ 500 ans avant de se confondre dans leur environnement. Aujourd'hui, le pari semble être réussi. Le récif de boules se peuplait petit à petit. Les greffes semblent renaître et les poissons s'y plaire, recréant de facto la chaîne alimentaire. Comme disait Jean Ferrat, que c'est beau la vie. Je rajouterai surtout quand on peut l'aider un peu.
Future of DEADMAN'S REEF.
Well, it's Paradise Cove and DEADMAN'S REEF. What I would like, for my children to manage it and to keep it going.
Yeah.
My son has a little interest in it, and he's only 12 right now, so we're going to work with him. My daughter is off to college. She's actually not majoring in marine biology, but she's majoring in health science. But she loves the water. She's a very avid swimmer and very avid snorkeler as well. So we don't know as far as the future is them concerned if they're going to come back and take over, but I'd like for them to help enhance it. I still got a few more years left in myself.
Yeah.
So,
You
know,
you are young.
and I hope to be here for at
Full
least
of
another
energy.
10 or 15 years minimum, and then from that point on we'll see what goes. But I do want to keep it as natural as possible, and also to help sustain the reef area so that more and more people can come and enjoy it. You know, we get about 35,000 people a year that come through my facility, and I get a lot of return customers that come as well. And I would like to grow, but then I want to grow appropriately so where it can still be
Not
managed.
to be
right, where
like
it can be
just-
managed and still sustainable, where the people aren't overrunning the reef system. And that was the main reason I put the reef balls in, to help sustain that. You
Is
know.
there a month where you close definitely the place, or is it open all year? All year.
Well, it's open all year currently. What I would like to do again, like I said, I have the people coming and monitoring the reef, and
Yeah.
for the most part it's doing pretty well, and there's not a whole lot of change. The reef ball system is one additive that if we're to have certain areas that maybe get stressed out, I could close that area and then just use the reef
Oh,
ball
yes.
system. So
Okay.
that way you can relieve stress off the main reef and keep it sustainable. But for right
That's-
now, with
like the
what I'm
farmers,
saying-
they
Yeah.
used to,
Move areas around,
move
yeah,
area from
exactly.
area. Yeah.
And so right now, though, everything seems to be going quite well, and we don't have that problem.